Soaring home prices in San Diego County have eased slightly in the last year, but the increase is still in the double digits. The Standard & Poor's Case-Shiller home price indices show that since March 2013, prices in the region jumped 18.9%. Joining me to talk about what the numbers mean are Alan Jin, professor of economics at the University of San Diego, and Mark Goldman, San Diego State University real estate lecturer. Professor Jin, so there's a slight slowing down in home prices in the region. Why is that?
Well, I think what happened is that home prices were drastically affected by the Great Recession, and so they plunged. In the recovery, they rebounded pretty quickly. And so what we saw is that initially we had this big burst, and I think what we're getting to is a more sustainable rate of price appreciation.
And we're seeing that more sustainable rate of price appreciation nationally as well.
Yeah, it's the same things happening nationwide is happening in San Diego. You had a big bounce at the beginning of the recovery, and now things are in a more moderate range.
Mark, what's the median price of a home in the San Diego region right now?
The median price of homes listed are in the high 400s now, I think about 489.
So home prices, as I understand it, are more expensive now than they've ever been since the real estate bust, but still below the peak levels during the bubble for the most part. Yeah. Does the average first-time home buyer here in San Diego even have a shot?
Well, they have a shot if they have credit, good credit, and if they have at least some savings. Veterans can buy a home with nothing down. The FHA programs are available with 3.5% down payment. Now that our markets are recovering, you can even get a Fannie or Freddie conventional loan with 5% down. But you need a bit of a down payment unless you're a veteran, and you have to be able to afford it. You have to be able to prove sufficient income to repay the loan according to terms.
So what advice would you give some of these first-time home buyers?
I would say if you're contemplating purchasing a home, talk to a mortgage professional, evaluate your credit, find out if perhaps you might have errors on your credit report or issues that might be corrected. Some things maybe you want to leave alone. Some things maybe you can fix and improve your credit score. Your credit score will affect your interest rate. I strongly encourage first-time home buyers to consider a budget. I find many times a new buyer, someone who's never done this before, the timeline of their transaction is finding a home and moving in. And they don't see far enough into the future to consider writing the check for their first mortgage payment. That reality will come faster than they think. So I encourage first-time home buyers to think about a budget. What's a comfortable monthly payment that they can afford?
Professor Jin, in recent years we've seen a lot of all-cash investors coming into the San Diego region and plunking down their money, and that drove up the price of homes. Are we still seeing that trend?
It's slowed down tremendously. When the prices were down, there were a lot of bargains out there, a lot of distressed properties, and so that brought in people with cash who could snap up these good deals. With prices appreciating like they have in the last couple of years, fewer bargains out there now. Still some people doing it, but at a much slower pace than what we've seen.
What did those investors coming in to the area, to the market, do to the price of homes?
It helped boost them with the speculation that increases the demand for housing, and that helped fuel this rapid price increase that we've seen in the last few years.
Mark, I imagine that first-time home buyers who do have some cash set aside are going to get a leg up on competitors for homes. But what are you actually seeing out there?
Well, I see people coming into the market somewhat frustrated. There's very limited inventory right now. The lower the price range of the home, the faster homes go. So they're not on the market very long. Right now in San Diego, we're seeing about a 2-month inventory, which is quite low. We like to see a 5 or 6 month inventory, meaning that the number of homes available would be about 6 times the number of sales in a month. So right now, we're only running at a 2%. So in order to be competitive, a borrower has to be prepared to act, which means they have to have their financing lined up. They should have a loan approval already, and they should know a good one when they see it. If they see a house that they like, they should be prepared to write an offer quickly because somebody else will. It's very competitive out there. prices seem to be slowing down a bit. It's kind of interesting. We're seeing a very tight inventory, and we've seen median prices back off just in this last month, just a tiny bit. But there's not a lot of houses out there, and there are a lot of buyers. So be postured, work with a good professional real estate agent who can prepare you to act on a home purchase opportunity.
And we've got to close it there. Mark, Professor Jin, thanks so much for coming on the program.